Big old clap test.
Five. Oh yeah. Five.
What?
Wait,
Four,
I'm not going to wear the headphones. Is
three,
this okay like this?
Two.
Okay.
One. Welcome everybody back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Between the Frames podcast, which is this podcast. We got Hayden, say something.
Hey.
We got Mike, say something, and we got Limon.
Hello.
Limon.
The Limon.
Wait, have
the
we?
limestone.
Okay, I haven't been on the podcast in a very long time. Have we?
Same.
Have we figured out a proper
There's
intro
a new
yet?
rule now. You have to tell us your deepest, darkest gay secret about yourself.
Darkrest. Ryan
About your
Seacrest.
most intimate memory that you have with a man.
Oh.
You have to tell us that.
Memory
We've
that
all
I've
done
had
it.
with a
We've
male?
all done it. Yes.
A male?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We know you've had plenty, but we just that's the rule now on the podcast.
You first. No.
I've already done mine. Limon's that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So part of me
Yeah.
is like, this is a joke, but then part of me is also confused. Like, what do we?
This is a joke.
What?
It's a
Okay.
joke.
Dude,
It's
we've
straight up a
done
joke.
one podcast since you were last on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you guys had done like heaps.
No, one.
No.
We got the podcast set up back from your house, like a week ago or two?
Yeah, something like that.
So-
and then me and Liam did one.
Nice.
And that was
This
it.
is the first time I've been on podcast in
Yeah,
like
same with Limon.
9 months or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, it's good
feels
to
so
be
good.
back. It feels good to.
It
like,
does feel good to
It's
be
an
back.
interesting setting right now. We're not at my place, the original podcast setup place. We're at Liam's place, and it's like a bungalow
back
sort of
house.
thing.
It's like a little
Yeah.
attic thing.
I actually kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's like
Yeah.
enclosed
Nice.
vibes.
Yeah.
Enclosed
I've had some
vibes.
memories in here
Enclosed
for sure.
Oh, me and Mike.
We've all of us,
Me and
at the
Mike
same time.
have had
Especially
some
Mike and-
memories in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to go
Interesting.
into
Yeah,
that.
we're not going to go into that though.
Okay, so how would we start this podcast? I've forgotten how to podcast.
Usually we just go like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Between the Frames podcast, and
we
then we
start
just
talking
say
about
who we
stuff.
are.
Okay, should we start it
And
then?
then,
All
yeah.
right, 5,
Well-
4, 3, 2. Oh, have
We
we
already
already
started.
started?
We
This is-
started.
Shit, okay.
We have
Yeah.
started.
So
I
Hayden,
don't know
we
how to
start
make
talking
content.
about stuff.
Now
'Cause
we
then,
just talk
like
shit.
next week we're going to Sydney. Like, how about we just start with
Yeah,
that?
that's true.
So the borders here in Australia are opening up apparently tomorrow between our state, Victoria, and New South Wales, which is Sydney, which is seems to be the only state that anyone outside of Australia actually knows is Sydney.
Yeah, well, it's the
Yeah.
most touristy. But how have you guys been in the whole lockdown situation?
All right.
Because you guys have been up in the city, I've been in the country, and like it's different down there
Yeah.
because the restrictions aren't so hectic.
Yeah, it sucked to try and. I was talking about on my live stream today. Actually, it just sucks to like, because it was like last year we were traveling so much, and we like it's so good to travel when you're making like our sort of content because there's just always something new to shoot. You don't really have to think as hard about a video
Yeah.
idea. It's just like
just going out.
it's just like
and
you
documenting.
go and explore, and your audience gets to explore with you, like the new places. Whereas when you're in the same city for like, not just the same city, but like in lockdown in the same city, it's just like it gets a bit monotonous, and like you're trying to think really hard about these video ideas. Yeah. So
How
it's
do you
been-
guys feel like when it like
hard.
coming up with like ideas and stuff in the lockdown? Was there a point where you were like, I can't be bothered doing this anymore?
Yeah, for me, definitely. Yeah, I had a lot of those times where I was forcing myself to try and make a video every week to the point where I was like, I don't even know what I enjoy doing anymore. And then I think I developed like a heavy gaming addiction.
Oh, really? What were you playing?
A lot of Call of Duty and a lot of Halo. I started, for the first time ever in my life, I downloaded, I got online
Yeah.
on Xbox. I'd never done that because I
Xbox
always
Live.
played with Limon, but because he was quarantining and so was I was like, well, fuck this, I'm going to buy it online, which I've never done before. And that was heaps of fun. And I
Yeah.
got like so addicted to playing Shoot House and
shipment.
Shipment and just like, 5v5 things on COD and whatever. Just, yeah, it was just ridiculous
But
how
I think
much I
it's
was
good
playing.
though. Like it provides a sense of perspective, like with the whole lockdown thing, but also like I feel personally like looking back on it, like our lives sort of were YouTube and photography. Like there was not much balance. And now I think that being in lockdown has given us the opportunity to kind of slow down. Me in particular, this is just me, and figure out like other stuff so that we don't rely on having to go out and do these things so that we
Yeah.
can, one, get more creative and like so that, because if you can get through lockdown and not have the luxury of being able to go out and get content and relying on that, if you can get through being in lockdown and creating in that way, then it's like, it's all up from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, like, tell me about like how you've spent the past sort of 5 months. 'Cause that's really what's the time.
Well, the past 5 months,
Like, what's the progression? Because it started off as, I was going to take a break from YouTube, and then
I literally messaged you guys saying like, all right, guys, I'm going to take a month off
Yeah.
of YouTube.
Yeah, I remember that,
What was the incentive behind that? Was
Literally
it because
my mental health.
Okay,
Like, because I was at this point in lockdown. Actually, no. You know what? It was like before lockdown, before all that was happening. I was at this point where nothing seemed to really like fulfill me anymore. Like, nothing felt exciting. Like,
yeah, I don't know what you mean.
Nothing at all, or content
as in
wise.
like, no. As in like, because my life became YouTube and making content, it was all I was thinking about. Like, literally nothing else. Like, obviously that's just so unhealthy. Like, your mum's a psychologist. She'll
Yeah.
be like, you need balance.
For sure.
So yeah, I was just caught in this loop of like trying to like get content out just to stay relevant. You guys know how it is with the whole YouTube thing. It's so easy to get sucked into trying to stay relevant, get your views up and all this stuff. But I realized that like living life like that is like you're being controlled by something external. And
Yeah.
when you're being controlled by something else, then you're not in control of your life yourself. So I came to this realization where I was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my life back on track and get in control again. And that was me at the start. It was facing the fear of not uploading and posting on YouTube, which that like the first week or so was like so hard. Like, it was the hardest thing that I've ever done is like
What was hard about it?
just not posting because
knowing that you're
knowing the idea, like the idea of like me, because like I've been doing this for like 3 years now. The idea of me losing my audience that I've built up over 3 years scared the shit out of me, and that's why I was like motivated so much to just like get stuff out so consistently before, because I was motivated by fear. But there's only so long that your body literally can take that before you get burnt out. And
course.
so I was just completely burnt out. And like you would even notice, like if you go on my channel, the last few videos as of now, what's the date today? It's the 20th of November.
Yeah, something like that.
The last few videos, you would notice that like I was acting in like in a strange way. And it was like I was trying to get, it was like, it sounds weird. Like my body was literally like, I was having like a breakdown and my body like needed to like just let shit out. And it came in the form of like my past like 2 videos or 3 videos or whatever, me just like going fucking insane.
ballistic.
Yeah, literally ballistic. And like I had this sort of mentality like, okay, like I'm caring too much about what other people think. So I got to swing the
other way.
spectrum the other way and be more of an asshole and just be like, I don't give a flying fuck,
Yeah.
which was super uncomfortable, by the way. But the thing is, I was playing on that spectrum of like too much empathy, which is like being a people pleaser, and too little empathy, which is like being an asshole kind of thing. So I was like thinking too much. That's the thing. But coming down to Warrigal and taking that time, the more time that I spent away from posting and social media in general, and being able to just sit and go inwards, which is like meditating,
Yeah.
the more that I was actually coming to realize that you actually don't need any of this shit to be happy. If anything, the more you chase this stuff, the more unhappy you become.
Chase what?
Well, anything external, thinking that you can actually get something out of life by pursuing something, because pursuing reinforces what you lack in the first place. But what you come to realize when you meditate and you just like sit for a while is you come back to what it was like when you're a kid. When you're a kid, you
I
weren't-
understand, but okay, just on the contrary, like, do you think when you are comfortable, if you are comfortable going back to posting and going back to YouTube, what would be the balance there? Like, what would be the incentive to post anything onto any social media platform
Well, I post it. The reason why I would
if there's
post
nothing to pursue?
well, no, that's the thing. Like, but that's not to say that you can't. It's not to say that you just don't do anything. It's like
Yeah. No, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, it's like just honestly, like the easiest way for me to explain it is like when you're a kid, you're not thinking about getting anything out of anything.
Yeah,
really.
you're just having fun.
You're just like there and
Yeah.
you're just doing shit for no reason.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, because you don't know
That's true, yeah.
anything. It's like ignorance is bliss.
yeah, you don't have any concept of reality, really.
Yeah.
So you're not thinking about like, okay, how am I going to go about this and this and this? You're literally pure infinite creativity when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Like there's no bounds.
But do you not find that interesting sometimes about how you can go about doing something?
What do you mean?
Like for some videos, for example, like some of them are more thought out than others. Some of them just require planning for them to make sense for the story and to get the shot.
Well, that's the thing. Planning can be a part of the fun. It's not that,
Yeah.
it's not to say that you can't plan, but there's no point in planning for something if you're not planning in the present moment. If
Okay.
you're planning,
Yeah, if I'm planning to like be like, okay, I know this video is surely going to get like 1 million views if I plan it this way. Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of unhealthy.
yeah, because
And that's
you're
what
thinking.
that's what you were sort of in.
Yes. It was like I wasn't like thinking all the time like what could I get to could get the most views and stuff. It was more like thinking, okay, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? Rather than like actually like you know what it is, like being in the flow state.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
you're taking photos and you're in the flow state,
You're just in the zone.
You don't even think.
No.
It's almost like the photos are taking you. You're not taking the
I
photos.
don't even remember doing it.
Yeah, literally. So that with constant meditation, you get comfortable with facing the void, which is like essentially doing nothing. But when you do it so much, everything in life sort of becomes a meditation in itself. So you increase your ability to be able to be in the flow state naturally.
Yeah.
Rather than having to trying to think about something, you just burn yourself out. You get frustrated. You literally get that sort of like strain in your forehead.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's like, it's just, that's not what creating's about, you know? It's
Yeah.
to be enjoyed. It's not to get views or make something good. Like,
So like, okay, yeah, no, I 100% agree. What are some like good alternatives then? Like if you're not sort of ready, because I know some people really do find it really hard to meditate because people's minds are racing. People are just thinking about stuff. Are there any other alternatives that you can do?
yeah, well, you don't need, the thing is,
If you're trying to meditate, you're not meditating. You know what I mean?
no, well, that's the
Do you
thing,
think
but
that's-
that's also part
Yes?
of the process because like I went through like the whole trying to get rid of thoughts and stuff, but then it creates more thoughts. But that is literally part of the process of like letting go of thoughts is you have to go through the complicated in order to get to the simple anyway.
That's
Just
true.
like
That's-
it's literally with
Ain't that
anything.
the truth?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally
That's
like
so true.
it's like with like any like photography,
It's like the
you-
POV videos.
you have to suck. You have to suck
Yeah.
at the start before you can actually start to know what you're doing. It's literally
Yeah.
the law of
It's
practice.
like, it's like part of learning.
Yeah. So the more that you observe something, the more that you do something, inevitably you get better and you learn more about it. So, but meditating at the start, it can be like honestly, I would say it's probably the hardest thing that you
It's
can
so
do.
hard.
It is hard.
I've tried to meditate before, and I'm just like sitting there, like, fuck this. I just want to go do something else. Like, why am I sitting here trying to meditate?
It's like you could be doing so many other things, being productive and stuff, but
well, it's just like I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, I don't feel like I need to take this long. Like I think sitting down for like a minute or like a couple minutes max is like a good break. But like when I'm sitting there for any longer than that, I'm like, nah, fuck this shit.
then I'm here for like 5 hours
Yeah, and you
straight.
because I remember you
Oh,
telling
wow.
me
No,
you
not
were
straight, but yeah.
you were saying
day.
that you did like 4 hours of meditation consistently every day.
Yeah, so, but that's only also, I suppose, probably because it's my body's way of like healing from like all of the time that I've spent burning myself out. I don't think, I don't know, you can't actually know anything about the future or whatever, but like, I don't think that in the future, I'm going to be spending 4 hours a day meditating because I probably won't need it because when everything in itself becomes a meditation, Did you just fart? What was that sound? anyway, when everything in itself becomes a meditation, you don't like sort of feel the need to do it. But the thing is, I don't meditate to get something out of it, because then you're still trying to get somewhere. I do it just because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the process of the struggle and of like the calm that comes
it's a
with it and
hobby.
everything. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I think people often confuse like meditation with sitting there cross-legged in a room, just alone
Just
with
going,
your thoughts.
Yeah,
like
I
going
actually
for a
do the
drive.
whole
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Oh.
do.
Is going
Interesting.
for a drive, being with your own thoughts, count as meditation?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
there's
'Cause I do that a
forms.
fuckload.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
How
going
do
for a
you
drive.
how do you like, so when you go out for drives and stuff, do you just like
It happens.
sort of contemplate?
It also happens when I go out for a drive. It's like I don't even plan to do it. I'd imagine it's when you do meditation as well. Like, do you plan to sit out
No.
hours, or you just sort of get into it? You're like, I'm just gonna do it.
my body sort of just not, because that's the thing, man. Like with decisions, like you'll come to realize if you do the meditation and stuff that you're gonna do what you're gonna do anyway. But thinking is pretty much a smoke screen to your decisions, and it makes everything so much more unclear, and that's where it brings anxiety and stress and stuff. But you come to find that like when your vision is clear, you start to make those decisions in a better way. But that's not to say that like thinking doesn't impact your decisions. But your authentic desires come from, not from thinking. It literally comes from your spirit, like who you are, really. This is getting deep as fuck, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with
Well,
that.
how I was gonna say is that when I go for a drive, a meditation drive, we'll call it.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm coming back from any of your houses or whatever, and I don't have anywhere to be, instead of like turning down my street, I'll just like keep going. And sometimes I'll drive for like half an hour or 2 hours or whatever, and just with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying the drive.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about
It's
whatever.
not planning, you're just doing
Yeah.
it. It's just happening.
And I think when I lost my license from being a dickhead, and plus being at home in lockdown, I literally drove myself insane. That's when I got the electric scooters, and I'd go on a scoot.
Yeah.
And every day I'd
Yeah.
go on a scoot. Like I just had to be moving and
Yeah.
doing something, because I think that's like what my mind wants to do. And I can't sit there
Yeah.
and do nothing unless I'm sleeping. I can't even really take naps, to be honest. I hate taking naps.
Yeah.
Unless I really have to. Like I haven't got any sleep the night before.
Yeah.
With the lifestyle that we live as well, because like we're in the city, like it's so fast paced compared to
know.
like if you live like near the beach. Like remember when we went up to Gold Coast?
Yeah.
Everyone's so much more chill there, and like
Yeah.
like even just being up there, you feel like it's easier to just sort of sit there because you're like your life sort of slows down to like half speed because you're just
Yeah.
like very chill, relaxed. You're
That's
going to the
true,
beach.
yeah.
So like I think that also has an impact, like living up here in the city.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you do, Limon, to like meditate?
For me to meditate,
What?
And it doesn't have to be meditation.
I
Just
wouldn't
like,
say it's meditating, but sometimes I just I at one point during lockdown, I kind of just like lie in my bed and just kind of just like blank out. Like I just think about just random shit. Like
yeah.
just-
Like looking up
whatever.
at the ceiling and just
yeah,
like,
yeah, just kind of just like trying to
Fat
relax my mind.
contemplate.
Just trying to relax my mind a bit because
Yeah.
like during lockdown, like I know you guys because you guys still have to go out and create and like take photos and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like since I was at uni's at home, I had basically no excuse to actually, and we were in like stage 4 lockdown as well. Basically, you couldn't
Yeah,
leave
it's
your
hard.
house unless it was for like pure
An
essentials.
absolute reason.
Yeah. And so I was like you guys know this. I was at home for like far too long. Like
How long was it?
long.
How long was it?
Like
say
I would
a
go
third of the
for
year.
probably
and this is also, by the way, this is without you leaving the house.
without me leaving the house.
Like,
Exactly.
Like literally not
literally
at all.
not leaving,
Not leaving
the
your
house.
property.
Yeah,
Like you went outside in the backyard, surely.
a few times, but not that many
so
times.
what was the time frame?
Okay, so coronavirus was like
March, we went into our
discovered
first lockdown.
technically in February because I remember Chinese New Year celebrations had to be cancelled
Yeah.
Yeah, for Australia.
for Australia,
Yeah.
in China as well, all over the world. Like Chinese New Year celebrations had to be cancelled, or Lunar New Year, that had to be cancelled, right? So that was already like, okay, well, I can't even meet up with my like extended family for that. And so I was already like at that point going out less and less because my parents were starting to get a bit like cautious, like, oh, it's coronavirus, like like at the time I thought it was like, oh, it's just gonna be like Ebola. Like remember the whole Ebola thing?
Ebola.
Like it never really came to Australia, so it never impacted us. But we just heard on the news, right? And then like people would make memes on it.
And then it just got forgotten about.
And it just got forgotten about because like they obviously came up with the cure. But like this whole COVID situation has been completely different because it affected every single person on this
But also
planet.
the way that it's been, I don't want to say, I want to say like reported on the news, like the way that social media is today as well.
Yeah.
Like where everyone's like back in 2008 when Ebola was, it was around that time. It wasn't really as popular to jump on Facebook and share it like 1 million times.
Yeah.
And just sort of strike fear into people. And not that I'm saying that, you know, you shouldn't be scared of the virus because it's definitely something you don't want to get for sure. And you should definitely take your precautions. But the way that it's been reported is this virus has been the most reported thing to date ever. You know? Like it's pretty crazy.
So how long were you in your house for?
Okay, so
February.
So come February, I was at home until it was Mike's birthday, 31st of March.
Yeah.
And lockdown happened on the 28th, I remember. Or something like
28th
that.
or something. So like I
Two
went to
people
your
on my
house.
birthday.
Yeah, 2 people. I was there, and then I was at home again for probably possibly 2-3 months at home.
Really?
Just at home. I went out a few times for grocery shopping, and that was about it. But that was like once every 2 weeks.
How was the cabin fever?
Dude, not good.
Yeah.
Just not good. It's just like you're stuck in the one location the whole time, right? And like you got to do work. I got to do uni work, and obviously like you got your playtime as well. You got pleasure, and like it was so hard to differentiate the 2 different times because you're just in the same spot the entire time. So like I lost so much motivation, and like every single day was the same. Like
Do you reckon you put yourself into depression?
Oh yeah, definitely. I reckon like I'm probably still going over it now. Like just like as I'm going out and hanging out more, like I do feel a lot more calmer and a lot better. But like during these 2 to 3 months of just like lockdown, going out for like a little bit and then going straight back into lockdown for like another 2-3 months again, like every single day was the exact same. Get up at 11 o'clock, eat lunch at this certain time, do some work, watch some videos.
Yeah.
And then go to sleep and then repeat it every single day. It was the exact same. It drives you crazy. It really does.
Literally under house arrest.
Yeah, it literally felt like house arrest. It was pretty fucked.
How do you still do you feel like that's slowly changing now that we're coming out of lockdown?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely is changing.
How did you feel when you actually came out?
Oh, like it's so funny because like the first few times I would come outside and it's just like
Not out of the closet.
Not out of the closet. Yeah, I'm straight.
Limon's
Just had
not
to get out of
gay.
it. I am
We're
straight.
talking about
Not that there's anything fucking wrong with being gay. Okay, back to it.
That's true.
Didn't say.
Yes.
No, I'm joking. I'm
But
talking shit.
like
Okay.
every single time I went outside, I felt so grateful to be outside again. Yeah,
Yeah.
I still feel grateful that we're doing this fucking podcast here
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
outside of my fucking house. Yeah. So
You turn into Gary V.
yeah,
Gratitude.
do it. You're gonna step outside your motherfucking house.
You're a fucking kid.
You're a fucking kid.
You gotta invest in the Bronchies fucking what's it called? Fucking basketball team.
what?
I just don't understand why
Wait.
people stay in their fucking house.
I mean,
just
I
don't
love
get it.
sport and I love wine. What more can I say?
Yeah.
And I've also got sneakers. Do you want to buy them?
Yeah.
No. Anyway, back to it.
I
Gary
haven't
V, you're
seen-
actually a legend if you're listening to us, which you're
Gary V
definitely
I do
not.
like Gary
not
V.
listening to our
I know he's not. I know.
I don't think
but
so.
just one day, future Gary V. If
I love you, Gary.
Gary
We'll
V
see.
in your next life or whatever, if you listen to this, don't worry. Don't
Yeah.
worry about
I'm gonna
it.
build a pyramid for you, Gary.
No,
you guys all
why
heard that?
pyramid?
Ooh. I mean, yeah, I love you too, Gary. V.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Anyway.
we were talking about Limon and stuff.
coming out of the
Lockdown.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, going outside, like
Yeah.
just going outside, taking photos is just like I am not in the same location
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
It's just
How does it feel going back into your house now? Are you like,
actually like it comes back. It's
Yeah,
weird,
yeah,
like
yeah.
because like you go back here and you're like,
Because you've associated home with feeling shit.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I've associated like being
You can say
inside
at
my
my house.
yeah, being inside my house is just like it's just shit now. And like even still as well, like the way my house is, it's kind of small and like there's no. It's like a giant like donut. Like you can walk in a circle in my house. Like there's no real like
That's a
Yeah,
good way to
it's-
describe it.
yeah,
That's
it's-
Private.
there's
privacy.
no real privacy in the house. Like my room is right next to the kitchen, which is very close to the dining table, and which is where my dad is and my mum's sitting on the couch.
You can't have
so
that.
What?
You can't have a bat. You
Only
said you can't
late
have
at
a
night.
bat.
Yeah.
When everyone's asleep.
2 a.m. batch.
2 a.m. bench. Yeah.
And you're
Stay
looking
on the
straight
dinner
up at the
table.
ceiling.
Dude, every single podcast we've talked about having a bat.
Have
we?
we?
That's great.
We talked about like Krispy Kreme schmegma, didn't we?
Oh, what?
There's
Okay.
nothing wrong with masturbating.
Okay.
It's a
so
very
Nothing wrong.
natural thing
Very
to
natural.
do.
This is what
Real quick,
happens
Krispy
with,
Kremes are delicious as well.
this is what
Just not the
happens.
cum
Yeah. We
The
just
schmegma part.
Ew.
yeah. This is what happens in our podcast.
So
like
that
we
was
go from
25
one
minutes in.
extreme to the other, like talking about something that's like really deep,
Like
and then
depression,
schmegma.
and then schmegma.
Schmegma,
Schmegma,
Krispy
yeah.
Kreme.
Well,
dot
welcome.
com.
Make sure you like and
Would
subscribe
you
for more
rather
of
eat?
this.
Would you rather eat a schmegma ice cream or schmegma donut?
Whoa.
Oh,
I
you
actually
gotta
have to
lick
think
the-
about that.
you
No,
gotta
don't
lick-
make me think. I
I'm
gotta
gonna have
meditate.
the
Gotta
donut.
I'm
meditate.
just going to get it over with.
Really?
But why not ice cream? Because it's like
You got to
cold.
lick it.
No, I would
Just
I would
eat it.
melt
Savor it.
Melt the ice cream. What would you do, Lamont?
I think ice cream because it'll be
Ice cream,
cold,
so we're
right? So
talking-
like hopefully the cold sensation will
I'm
take over
throwing
the
up
taste
regardless.
Yeah.
of
Doesn't
schmegma.
matter.
Yeah.
I'm throwing it
And
up
like it has to
regardless.
be like I think it has to be mixed with like milk and butter
Oh
and
fuck!
ice.
I don't know
so
why I asked this
Okay,
question.
next-
hopefully it'll be
Disgusting.
less.
What's it something else we can talk?
When
When did I
okay,
ask
when's a
about
photo
schmegma?
battle? When's a photo battle?
Oh yeah,
coming
photo
out?
battle.
I
yeah.
don't know.
We can't say who's lost and won.
Okay.
No,
so
don't.
We can't.
No,
We
no,
can't.
You don't know.
Okay, I don't know because I'm playing around with stuff in like Blender, which for
Yeah,
those who
I
don't
saw
know, I'm doing like Blender is a 3D animation and modeling program. I've been just doing that, but alongside with doing the documentary that I'm working on. So it's just, it takes time, and like I'm running into some problems. And
You know what's
stuff with
funny?
it,
We
but-
don't really talk about actual camera equipment, camera gear that's coming out.
No, we don't.
I don't
straight
think we've ever said in
Because
in
who
a podcast.
cares, bro?
I know,
No.
no, that's what I'm getting at because it's
The
funny.
thing is, a lot of people do care, but we just
just
don't care.
Dude,
It
like,
just
we just got
doesn't-
Sony's,
like-
and that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like
'cause
that's what you
we're-
want to work towards is getting an A7S3 or A7
Hmm.
or an R Mark IV or R3, and then you're set. It doesn't matter after
Yeah.
that.
Like if
Exactly.
you're listening to this podcast thinking
what
that
you
you're
got.
going to get some good camera
Advice?
reviews or
No.
advice, unfollow it and
yeah,
stuff because you're not going to get
because
it.
we just talk.
We're
mad
just
shit.
Sony fanboys here.
We're
That's all
Sony
we are,
fanboys,
yeah.
but we just talk about like the actual process, the mindset behind all this kind of stuff because it's way more important than any sort of gear.
Yeah,
it
I-
is here.
Yeah.
Like every time I do a live stream, people are like, "Oh, what do you think about this new camera?" Like, I don't know anything about any.
I didn't
new
even know that
cameras are
camera
coming out.
existed.
I don't know. Someone said like, "What do you think of the Sony FX6?" I'm like, I have no idea what that is.
I don't know
Yeah.
what that
And I
looks
just
like.
couldn't care less.
Yeah, I don't even know that camera
I've
existed.
got my camera and it fucking works great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As
Oh,
long
you
as
just got that A7S2,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Oh.
Tell us your first thoughts.
Yeah,
'cause
okay,
I know what me and
so-
Liam experienced the same thing as you.
So, because we all shoot Sony, we all just love Sony so much. And like, I've been shooting on the A7S2 for like probably 5 years now.
Since that came out,
Yeah, like that. Yeah,
the Mark II.
the Mark II, pretty much. And the Mark II was amazing. It still is an amazing camera. But it always had like autofocus issues and stuff. I love how we never talk about reviews or cameras and then we talk about it straight away after as the following like, question.
But
Yeah,
only
it is
this
what it
one
is.
Only
specific
this one.
type
This is
of
a
camera.
one-off time. No.
you got a new camera.
Yeah,
so-
literally no. But like honestly, the A7S3 is like, it's actually the perfect camera in my opinion because it's like the autofocus is unreal, the face tracking is unreal,
Oh, dude.
the ISO is still unreal, just like the other one.
4K, 100 frames.
100 frames, 120
10-bit
frames
color.
if you're doing
10-bit
Yeah,
NTSC.
what is that?
Oh, yeah,
'Cause
what is that?
Why
Yeah.
can't I shoot in 120 frames?
Because when you're,
Hmm?
because we shoot PAL, which is 25 frames a second, usually like
Yeah.
with, that's like Australia and Asia Pacific, Asia
Specific.
Pacific.
Asia
Specifically
Pacific.
Asia Pacific.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but like America and like all the other ones
Everyone
are
else.
NTSC, which is
Yeah.
like 23.976
All the Northern
frames per
Hemisphere
second.
dogs.
Yeah, them ones. But that's like usually like proper Hollywood kind of film. So like, but the problem is if you're shooting NTSC in Australia, because of the way that the lights actually flicker,
And
you get
the way they're manufactured here.
the way that they're
the way our
manufactured.
power like AC works, it's like it runs on a slightly different frequency compared to
Yeah.
North America.
So you get like
whereas other
rolling
countries-
shutter, and
You'd
it
never
doesn't
think
look
that.
good.
It's
I know.
weird.
It's like, why
It's
don't you
really
just
weird.
keep it all the same? It's the same with like,
Driving
metric.
left and right.
Yeah,
hand side of
metric
the
and
road.
imperial.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, who cares?
Metric
Like,
for the win,
but it
imperial's
is
shite.
what it is. So,
But if I'm shooting at 100 frames in PAL and 120 frames in NTSC, is there a difference when I slow it down?
no, you can actually slow 120 frames down to 25 frames in the timeline by in Premiere making it 20.9%. So it's like really random. Like,
Can't you just
of the
interpolate
speed.
the footage? You can like go right click and you can set the exact amount of frames that you want it to be.
There's probably an app.
Really?
No, it exists in Premiere. Yeah, I used to do it all the time.
Oh yeah,
You
you
just
can do
right
that.
click and press
Right
something.
click,
And then
yeah, it's like
that
interpret
fixes everything.
footage.
Yeah. But
Dude.
the thing is, like, then you would have to swap between NTSC and PAL, and like doing that is just
No,
like,
I've already lost interest.
yeah, it's like whatever. I was like, who cares?
It's
Who
20
actually
more
cares?
frames.
Either way, A7S3, amazing camera.
Okay, how about this instead? If you could control Z something in real life, what would you control Z or Z? Control Z.
Nothing. Like
No, come on. Surely you
I-
fucked
there's
up
nothing.
once.
That's the whole point of the question. Come on.
I know.
Okay, just
but,
stop
like,
being a
just-
fucking little
well, saying that
brat
then.
for 1 second
saying nothing.
and just control Z for one point in your life. You got some embarrassing story that you just really wish you didn't
just
do.
to play along with it
Yeah.
as a joke.
It's not. Yeah.
Obviously,
that's
it's
what it is.
everything
It's
is
just-
what it
I
is, Hayden.
I know, but like, yeah, okay.
If you could fantasize about one thing that you
I'm a
wish you
very
didn't do.
serious person now.
Like, obviously,
changed.
none of us can control Z any of it. So,
We
like,
don't really want to.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
like,
it's just a
yeah.
hypothetical.
All right, Limon, you go first.
You ask the question first. You go first.
I didn't ask
I
the
asked the
question.
question
Mike,
first, No, no,
so
Mike, what would you do
It
then?
was directed towards Hayden first.
No, okay, I've fucked up before. What have I done? What have I done?
What have I done to
You've
me?
done
What
many
have you
things,
done?
Michael.
Oh, now I've been singled out, so I don't know. Sure.
Actually-
can you guys remind me of something stupid I've done that I probably shouldn't have?
Oh, no. No, there are.
There's probably a
but
lot, and
we've
I'm a little
all
scared to say
done
them.
such stupid shit. Like, we do it all the time. How are we not thinking of something?
I know, yeah, legit. Like, I've done some proper stupid
Dude,
shit.
you know
that
why?
I
I
don't-
can think
because
of
we're
some
trying to
dumb
think of
shit
it.
you've done, but I'm not going to say on this podcast.
No, okay, we're not. Okay.
Like, I'm not going to go there. I'm not
going to
go
where
there.
you are right now in your head. So,
What
Okay.
about sending a chick a video of you? No, just don't finish the sentence.
Let's not.
Dot, dot, dot. And I'll just leave it up to the audience to be able to use their
think.
Hey,
I'm
imagination.
sweating.
Not go over the speed limit when the cops are right there.
Okay,
Losing your
that
license.
was pretty. Actually, I did think
That's-
about that 100%
pretty
of the
dumb.
time when I was in lockdown. I wish I did not do a pull right in front of highway patrol.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't break the speed limit right in front of highway patrol.
I can't even think of one, bro.
Why are you blushing, Hayden? Come on, it's not that hard.
I'm actually just hot in here.
It
But
is
so
very
hot.
hot.
I'm looking in the mirror. I'm not blushing. Am I? Oh, what about that time when we were in Singapore and we were in the elevator with Lucy, and then I blushed or something because I said something stupid.
You said, "Do you like weather?"
yeah, I was
Do you
saying
like
I said it
weather?
as a joke, but then like I don't think anyone laughed, and I'm like, oh,
Tough
You
crowd,
would
tough
contro-
crowd.
I would probably control Z the time that I was in Chicago. I remember this one. And
wait, explain. Okay, yeah,
Mike and I were in Chicago. We were staying in this like hotel.
Chicago.
And
Okay, we were in Chicago. That's
Right.
I can't stress it enough.
Like Chicago,
How
right?
far away we are from home.
We were talking to all these people who were staying there. They're all like from all parts of the world, like Spain, like other parts
Brazil.
of America as well. And we're in the lift, and the word minge here in Australia refers
England.
to
Yeah.
and other parts of the world, I'm sure, refers
a gash.
to a female's
Reproductive.
vagina.
Vagina.
Right.
Yeah.
The southern border.
Just a vagina.
Southern borders.
The southern borders, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, surely no one else in the world no one else really calls it
Especially
a
in
minge. That's
America.
like
in America, they don't know what it is.
in America, like they call like what's a minge? Like people were saying
You mean a
it.
pussy?
Yeah, right. So we're in the elevator. We're going down. There's these two girls who I'm like, yeah, these American girls, whatever.
They can
and
get
I'm
it.
like to Mike, minge. So yeah, what are you doing today to Mike? And just like played it off cool.
While the girls are in the elevator standing next to
and
us.
I'm like, yeah, they got no clue, but I don't know what minge is. So
we
like,
turn to them.
we go down there and like we get out of the elevator and I go, oh, so where are you girls from? And they go, oh, we're from Melbourne, Australia. Literally
my
our city.
God.
And we're like, oh, what part of Melbourne, lol? They're like Caulfield, which is like near where we... Actually, I probably shouldn't have said that. Oh, well.
Oh, it's fine.
It's in the southeast,
It's near where
yeah, it's
we
fine.
live
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Melbourne.
Yeah,
It
we
is near.
And
Yeah, it's very
thousands of
close.
people come to my house.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
somehow find your house in... No, I'm not going to say it. Yeah, no,
In.
Leave it up to the imagination
But
again.
yeah, essentially, I would Control Z that. But then again, I wouldn't because it's funny.
Yeah.
But like, if
Well-
I hypothetically could, I would. But I don't
Well,
give
you
a
learn
fuck.
from it and you can tell the story.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, that's the best part about
Yeah.
doing stupid
I'm
shit.
trying to think. I've been trying to think.
I remember a better
sometime.
one, but yeah, you go. You go.
Can you go first? I'm still trying to think. I'm just
Okay,
gonna
yeah.
think.
I would command Z this whole situation, but I'm glad that you can't do that because this is a great story. Because
Yeah.
when I was in the Gold Coast, I was actually in Cairns, which is further up from the Gold Coast. I was up there for a job, and I had to rent a car, and I rented a 4-wheel
I know
drive.
this one. Yeah.
And I was driving around doing the job or whatever, and I finished. It was like I was filming for like a racing event that was happening, right? And I finished, and I had a couple of days to myself, so I'd been driving around, photographing sunsets and just exploring Queensland by myself. Okay, in this 4-wheel drive, which is sick. It was heaps of fun. And I'm driving home one night, the sun's setting, and there's this beach that I'm driving past, and I'm like, it'd be such a cool shot. Just for me to have a memory of this whole trip and everything that I've been doing is if I just like drove the 4-wheel drive, because it's 4-wheel drive, onto the sand, and I just stood on it and put my camera on like a self timer, and I just like got a dope self portrait of me with like the sun setting and the mountains in the background, and I'm just like in the sand. Like, how cool would that be, right? So I'm lining up the car to go into the into the sand, right? Because there's only one sort of driveway part to go onto the beach, right? And it goes directly onto the softest part of the beach, like Anyway, so before I was about to just like put into first gear and drive in, I was like, Michael, there's a 50% chance of this fucking up and you getting stuck immediately. You just sink the car straight into the sand and you'll be stuck. Yeah, you have to call a tow truck to get yourself out. Or you could be getting a dope shot. But if you get stuck, it would make a great story. So here I am right now about to tell you the story. That was the way of me being there by myself. If I was with any one of you boys, you would be like, no, don't do it. But because I was by myself in my own head, I'm like, nah, do it for content.
Do it for the content.
You weren't even filming it.
God, yeah.
No, I wasn't even filming. I didn't film this because this is the point when I just started YouTube. I was embarrassed to put anything online that was of me fucking up. But I should have filmed this because like...
Do it for no content then.
Yeah, I did it for the story content and the actual no physical content. I'm sure there's a photo somewhere on my phone of the car stuck in the sand because that's exactly what happened. I drove straight into it, a couple meters into the sand and just sunk straight in there. Like the front wheels like properly like half dug in there. And I'm like, holy fuck. I'm stuck. I put it in reverse. I try and get the car out. I just dig myself even deeper. So I've dug the front ones in and now the rear wheel's in. And I get out of the car. I'm like, fuck! No, what have I done? What have I done? I'm like such a fucking idiot. I should have just listened to myself. Why did I do this? And I'm walking around the car freaking out because the sun is setting. I'm going to be stuck here at night. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I didn't have much reception. I didn't know who to call. I was like, well, I don't even know where the fuck I am. Like, how am I going to get a tow truck? How much is it going to cost? I've just got a rental 4-wheel drive stuck in the sand. So I'm walking around and I see these, there was the only other person at the beach here. It was a couple walking along the beach. So I run over to them. I'm like, hey, my name's Mike. I make bad decisions. I've got my car stuck in the sand here. Can you help me get it out? And they're like the most Aussiest Queensland people I've ever met in my life. They're like, yeah, mate, yeah. Come over to the ute, mate. I've got something in there. Probably give you a hand. So I go back over to this guy's ute. They're like young sort of couple as well. They looked like, 17, 18 because he had like P plates on his truck or whatever. And he goes into the back of his ute and he grabs like a plank of wood to stick it under the rear wheels or whatever. But he only had one plank of wood because the whole point of that is for something for the tire to grip onto to get it out of its little hole, and then you could potentially push it back up onto the road. And so he only had one plank of wood. So he just grabs a hacksaw out of his ute and just starts hacking away at a tree to get some branches, to put some branches.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. So he pulls out a hacksaw and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why do you carry a hacksaw? And he's like, oh, I've got other stuff in there. And he's got like different types of saws. And he's just got like fishing rods and then just like a shotgun and a rifle and like some other weapons. I'm like, why the fuck do you have guns in your ute?
He's Australian Walmart. That's what he is.
no, and I'm just
He's
like
got everything.
and I was like, how old are you? And he's like, oh, I'm 17. And I was like,
What?
I'm like, what the fuck? What?
Why?
How old are you? Like,
Why is he 17? Did you ask him why?
Why is this?
I was like, what year were you born? Why were you born in that year? No, I was just
Why
like,
were you
what-
born?
I was like, how do you have a gun? And he's like, oh, you can get your gun license at 13 here. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, I just carry it around in your car. And he's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, now I'm in an episode of Wolf Creek all of a sudden.
Oh my God.
And this 17-year-old hunter fisherman dude is like helping me get my car out. Right, and he's gone and hacked away at some branches or whatever. We've stuck some wood and tree branches and whatever underneath the car, and eventually just ended up getting it out.
What's the moral of the story then?
Moral of the story is drive your car into the sand for a good podcast story.
Good
Fair
podcast
enough.
story.
Fair enough.
Listen to your gut feeling. If your gut says no, which mine did, don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're by yourself in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and
That
it's
was the
getting
dumbest
later.
thing.
And it's getting dark.
That was
Oh
probably
my
one of the
God.
dumbest things I've ever done in my life, I reckon.
Fair enough. Not a really control Z moment because it's a great story.
It was a great story, but like,
But,
you
yeah.
know, I
Still,
could've-
you wouldn't want to be in that situation.
it was a
No.
fuck. For the time that it happened, it was a very bad situation
Yeah,
to be in.
I think I found my control Z story. I don't even. It's not even that bad, but I remember because like the old workplace that we used to work at, right?
Yeah.
So I was in charge of designing their new website, and I remember like I can't exactly remember what the proposal was, but the word got up to one of the directors, and so both directors, right?
Yeah.
And it was the one that was known to be like really like kind of moody and very like he was
Edgy.
very quiet, but then like if you did something wrong, he'll fucking go at you, right?
Short
It was that director,
Yeah,
right?
short fuse kind of boss.
Yeah. So, but he's always usually really quiet. But if you do something wrong, he will like fuck you up.
Yeah.
So like I remember I was
Great
like,
boss.
yeah, but he was a director of the company as well, which is like,
Yeah.
So I remember I had to go up with the marketing manager as well and speak to him about something about this proposal. I can't exactly remember what exactly it was, but we went up, right? And then he was like, so do you think you can do this, right? And then I was like, me just like kind of panicking in the moment because I'm speaking to
And
him.
you're also not a web designer.
I'm not a web designer. I'm just a fucking kid who just like got in and just like started helping them with work.
Why
right?
didn't you tell them that?
What?
That you
What do you
weren't a
mean?
web designer?
I just like helped them out with the graphic design. It just ended up being I helped them design their website.
Okay,
it was like a really weird eventual thing. Yeah. So like
No, working at that place as well, I remember you were given like, you had your job. That was like
Yes.
the main face of your job, but you also did like 7 other things
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Which
So
you
you're
didn't
in
get
his
paid
office.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we went up to his office, right? And so like, so can you do this, right? And I was like panicking at the same time, and I was like, I need to sound smart, I need to sound reasonable. And I was like, wow. So with time and money, I think we should be able to do it. And I remember like at this point, like his face was kind of just like, what the fuck is this kid saying? And then like the marketing manager was like, yeah. So we'll be able to do it. We can get it done by within this time frame. Whatnot. I was like, okay, cool. We leave. And I realized I'm like, why the fuck was I saying that?
You just
I
signed
should've
yourself
just- I
up for
should've-
something you don't know how to do.
I should have just been like honest and be like, yeah, this can be done, or just keep it simple, not try and like bullshit my way and be like, yes, with enough, like with like
Yeah.
really nice flattering words.
So you
like,
basically gave yourself less time to do a job you don't know how to do.
yeah, it was pretty funny.
You said, I could do this quickly.
So you slim
No,
gymmed yourself pretty much.
Because under that pressure, though, you didn't know like what to do. Because it's like it's
It
scary.
was just-
I'm getting
mainly
a blood
just, like,
nose.
sounding-
Everybody, I'm getting a blood nose
Oh.
on the podcast,
Oh,
live,
man.
real
Oh, yeah,
time.
go
I
downstairs.
actually am getting a
Yeah,
blood
go
nose.
downstairs.
Hey, stop
Lord.
fucking talking. Just go
Lord.
sort
We're
it
gonna have to
out.
censor this shit out.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, does YouTube not like blood?
No, I'm just joking.
Oh.
I'm just
Yeah.
joking.
So what?
I wish I
Yeah.
could control Z my comment just then.
It's what happens when you're like, what? What are you doing? Where are you going?
What? Oh yeah, there's tissues over there. Yeah. Oh my
You
god.
right?
Everywhere. Yeah, I'm alright. Keep going with the podcast.
It's when Hayden gets an erection, he gets a blood nose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when he gets
it's like the
horny.
Japanese anime. It's like they see like a hot chick and they start getting blown out.
Yeah, just get heaps of tissues.
Nani? Yeah,
Oh.
that's what happens.
Yeah, to describe, if you're not watching this, Hayden's literally running around this room. He's got blood all over his hands.
Like it's a really bad blood
That
nose.
is going everywhere. It's a squirter, mate. He's a squirter.
It really is.
Yeah,
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Guess what? You got blood all over your hands. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to leave.
Yeah. And he tried to just come back to the podcast with blood all over his hand.
He's
Yeah.
all about the content. Now he
He
sees
is.
the camera, he has to get into it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, so he just freaked the fuck out.
It was
and you
just
were
like me just being a bit like
I
just
know
not
you're
really.
like trying to sound more professional.
I was
than
trying
you
to sound
are.
professional, but
Yeah.
I just end up sounding more dumb.
Yeah, that's usually what happens when you like
Yeah, do
in those
yourself.
business meetings
Yeah,
or
it's-
really any situation when
Yeah.
you're like you've never really been in it before. You have an idea of how you
Yeah.
should sound.
Yeah.
And then it's like even when I did first time doing a podcast, like I was like trying to like speak properly and like trying to tell a good story.
Trying to sound nice.
Yeah, trying to sound good and shit, but like
It's
it
like
just
we were
doesn't
talking about
work.
before. Sometimes you need to go through complicated things to understand the simplicity behind it. A
Yeah.
podcast is literally a conversation.
It literally is.
And it's like, it feels weird at first because you're sitting down to plan to have a conversation and record it.
Yeah.
But now, like, we're like 45 minutes
Yeah,
in,
it's just a
whatever,
conversation
and
at the
we're
end of
used
the
to
day.
this now.
And also, I think it's good to do podcasts with I'm keen to get some guests on this podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then you can like
New
'cause,
stories.
Like we know the stories. Like we already know all these.
Yeah,
stories.
Liam, just remember it's like if you're gonna be
Oh,
moving
yeah.
your
Yeah.
face, just like
We already know the stories, so it's like
Yeah.
you know it's not as funny.
Yeah.
But
it's
be
it's always nice sharing them with the
of
public
course,
as
well,
well.
like I'm just keen to get more guests on here.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to get more
definitely.
stories.
More
Yeah,
stories.
just going
Oh,
out,
more
just
stories.
doing random
You
shit.
mean more of our own stories?
Yeah.
Yeah, by traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm keen to travel as well. I think. Well, we're going to Sydney in 2 days. Is it?
Something
2
like
days.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Sydney, get some content there. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Do you have any shoots planned for Sydney?
Yeah, one I didn't get to do last time. It's with this girl. She got an Audi R8 up there.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, but I didn't get a chance to shoot her car last time because like we tried to fit so much stuff into like our short trip there.
Yeah.
I was so
we were only
tired.
there for like what 4 or 5 days or something.
This is
Last
when we went to
time?
go pick up Trav.
Oh no, this is a
Yeah,
different
so
time.
it's
Right,
like
right.
yeah, it was an even shorter. It was like it wasn't a short trip. It was just like a lot of sort of different things going on because
Yeah.
we were having
Yeah.
issues with Trav that needed to be sorted out as well.
Right.
And we were also spending some time up in the Blue Mountains as well.
And we were literally coming back from this hectic shoot. And you were like, yeah, I'm going to shoot this Audi R8. And then you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to shoot it. And then we got there and you're like, nah, I'm not shooting it.
By
I'm
like
fucking
6 o'clock,
dead.
by the time we got back into the city, I was like, yeah, I had to go to sleep because I was like just so dead from the whole
Yeah,
trip.
because you guys would have been driving the whole time. Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's that
Oh, and
9-hour drive.
when we were in Sydney, actually, the cops called me because the cops came to my house
Oh,
from a
yeah,
YouTube
yeah,
video.
yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
I've talked about this, but I didn't get in a lot of trouble, but it was just weird because the cops came to my house when I was up in Sydney picking up Travis.
Cops came to my house.
Cops came to my house. I got arrested potentially.
Clickbait,
Legit.
clickbait.
Oh, me
Legit
and Liam
though.
have got this new meme that we've been doing a lot where it's like you say something that is just
Like a clickbait
Yeah,
has a
YouTube
bit of
title.
drama.
What's the
in it?
clickbait behind that? Yeah, anything that has drama, you like just say it in a stupid voice and pretend it's a YouTube.
Like
thumbnail.
all those like pranks, like gold digger prank, gone wrong and sexual.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
No, but what happened
Yeah.
was just you guys already know, but just to tell everyone else.
Yeah.
You good, Hayden? Hayden's back.
How's your nose?
If you get some tissues and just roll
Just
it
have-
up
just-
and
yeah,
just
just
stick
have
up
a
your
little
nose like a
lie
little tampon. That's what
Yeah,
I do.
will.
Tampon yourself.
Tampon your nostrils. Yeah. So
Yeah, what happened?
No, so we're in Sydney. The cops came to my house, and my mum or my dad calls me after it happened. I think my mum called me, and she was like, police just came to our house, and they were asking for you. Do you know anything? Have you done anything wrong that you can think of? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what? No, like I haven't done anything bad. Like, I don't think I've done anything bad. Like, I don't remember. And like, yeah, they wouldn't tell us either. They said they had to speak to you
In person.
specifically
in person
Okay.
as well.
Specifically about it. No, they're like, yeah, they had to speak to me in person, like to be confidential about it or whatever. And I was like, okay,
Now it's gonna be all over the web.
Yeah.
So telling it for the public.
well, yeah, whatever. Well,
It doesn't matter.
I can speak about it now because it wasn't anything. I know. I'll get into it actually. And then they were like, he left his card, and he like hit one of the constables would like you. That's what they called. Would like you to call him. And I was like, okay. So I called the number, and no one picks up. So I'm like, okay, mint. Well, hopefully that's just like all good now because I tried to call them, and I don't know what I've done wrong, but no one picked up. So hopefully it just like all gets forgotten about now. A couple of days go on or whatever. I get a phone call from someone, and they're like, oh, hey, this is so and so from this police station or whatever. Do you have a moment to chat? And I was like, yeah, okay, what's up? And they're like, okay, well, you know, we'd like to come and, or if you could just come down to the station because we'd like to just have a chat with you about a YouTube video that you've made. And someone has made, there's been a few people that have made some complaints about it. And I was like, what the fuck? A YouTube video that I made that people don't like? But like to report to the police? I was like, what the fuck have I done? And at the time I was making these point of view driving videos of like just getting cars and like hooning them around the forest and stuff like that. So I was like, I already thought it may have had something to do with that, but I've been blacking out the dashboard on them so you can't see like sort of how fast I'm going and everything. Which I wasn't breaking the speed limit. I was doing 40Ks the whole time in all those videos, by the way.
Yes.
But anyway, they're like, yeah, when are you back in Melbourne? Because we'd like to sort of speak to you in person. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in Sydney, so maybe next week. So I end up calling them next week to meet up with them. And they come, you know, in front of my house. And, they're just there. I didn't have to end up going to the police station. They came literally to my house. I have this on video somewhere, but I didn't think it was like, you know, exciting enough to sort of make a video about, and I didn't really want to speak about this then. But basically they just pulled me up and said, oh, you made a point of view, you know, video of you driving your Subaru through one of the forests or whatever. And in the video, at the end of it, you were taking photos of it. And I'm like, dude, this guy's like a fan. He's like been watching the video. Like that was like 17 minutes into the video. He's like telling me about like this specific part of the video.
Cop?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
He's
to
like,
think
bro,
about.
when you were taking that banger photo at 4 minutes 57.
I reckon someone reported you.
Yeah, no. So what happened was he was saying, yeah, at like this point in the video, you were parked a little bit too much on the road and you should have been parked
On the side.
On the side. But also you're in a no standing area. So like, just
Dude,
don't do that.
What I find interesting about that is there is YouTube videos out there, like probably by Australian content creators as well, where they do just way more like cook shit. Like they do pranks that like genuinely like piss people off. Like guys will go up to girls and go like, kiss me or like give me a slap and shit. Like as if like would those people get cops coming to their house, or is it specifically because you were driving?
They take
your car?
road safety here in Australia really seriously.
Is that what you think it is? But do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know what you
do you reckon
mean.
other YouTubers have had the cops go to
For
their
sure,
house?
for sure, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
many. Yeah, but like it just depends on what it is.
Australia is different as well, I think, because, you know, think about it this way. Our population here in Australia is 25 million people. That is half the amount of people that live in just California is our whole population here in one in our country.
How many people are in?
I think there's 40 million people
Is that
in.
citizens or like just people in
Just
our
people
country?
in the country, right?
So it's
I
not
don't-
like
I don't know.
Australian citizens.
I don't know what is it. What it
Do you know
is.
what I mean?
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's just population in general, so just people in.
Yeah.
I think it's an estimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, you know, America is so much bigger, and like, you know, when I see videos of people just like, you know, literally street racing. There's a whole channel, 1320 video, is just about street racing cars in America. I'm surprised their channel hasn't been shut
You know,
down.
apparently America is roughly the same size as Australia.
Yeah, we're a little bit smaller, like a
Yeah,
couple
just a
hundred Ks
little
on,
bit
on each
smaller.
side. If you're not including Alaska and
Yeah. But
Well,
like it's weird because on
Canada.
world maps, it actually looks like
kidding.
it's
Yeah, it's
They
way
was like
bigger.
morph the shit out of the
yeah,
world
it's
map
'cause
to
they
fit
morph
on
it.
a
Same with
rectangular
Russia.
piece.
Russia looks massive, but it's really not like that big.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
of the way that it's like spread out on the maps. Like you can look it up on the internet,
Yeah.
like an actual
If you
size.
if you actually look at like its length either side, you know what's
Yeah.
funny as
It's
well? It's been
girth.
someone's job to measure girth of countries.
Girth.
Girth of a country.
Who
yeah.
measures the
thinking-
planet's girth? Like that's
Yeah.
someone's
How
job.
do you measure it? With a tape
Welcome
measure?
to the deep side of the podcast.
Do you
Tape
reckon?
measure.
I remember there's like this really
I'm
weird.
scared that the other half of my nose is going to start bleeding. So I'm like,
Why don't you
That's
get
so
another
funny.
tissue then?
nah.
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 That's what's such a
Have
good
an issue? Have a tissue.
I remember for like calculating certain things about the Earth, it's pretty weird. Like there's like a few different equations you have to use to calculate like, and you can use them to like, you can like derive them and you can calculate the full like diameter and width and shit of the Earth, and like using weird parameters like gravity and like distance from other like I think distance from planets or something, or distance from
really?
the moon. And like where distance from the equators or something. Yeah, it gets pretty hectic.
How do you know about that?
I do engineering.
Ah, that is a fair call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, tell me about like automotive engineering and what the reason was behind you going into that as well. Because have you been doing it just to be able to build your dream car? Is that essentially the reason, or is
okay,
it also to keep
first-
your parents happy too?
Firstly, I basically got forced into engineering by my parents
Fuck.
because they wanted me to do engineering. And it's like, because I just initially wanted to do like some kind of arts degree and just like something a bit more creative, but they wanted me to do engineering. I was like, okay. And then I got into mechatronics first, which is like
That
robotics.
just sounds fucked.
Robotics, it's a lot of
What's
work.
it called? Megatronics.
Mechatronics. So it's a mixture of like, it's basically robotics. So it's like it's mechanisms working with electricity. So like, let's say if this had like piston in it, and then it was electronically controlled to go up and down.
Yeah.
It was just
So
like
convertible.
So it was just you can, stuff like that. So it's like not only do you have to learn about the forces within like beams and arms and linkages, you have to learn about the actual programming side to make them
do
move in
that.
a certain direction. So it's like automated shit. Like that industry in itself is like pretty hectic, and it's definitely going to go up in the future.
Oh,
Why?
for sure.
Why would it go up?
I think about like robots, AI, artificial intelligence. That would definitely like be a thing that a lot of people are investing at the moment to like build and further develop.
Sorry, you keep going. Sorry.
Yeah.
You found a little loophole
But
with
I found
engineering, didn't you?
I found a loophole. So I looked into it because like this is
Into
annoying.
courses.
I don't like coding. It is like a whole new language in itself, and it's like math language.
Especially if you don't want to
Yeah.
learn it, you're not going to learn
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like it was too much for my little brain. So I was like, nah, let's not
Little
do this.
Beetlejuice brain.
Can I figure out a way to do something that's a bit more interesting, something that's a bit more different, and like something that I think that I can actually apply myself to. And then that's when I found automotive engineering. It's like, okay, yeah, I can transfer some credits around and continue doing that. So I was like to my parents, yeah, I'm going to switch over. It was still engineering, so like, yep, okay, that's good. And then so I did that. So now I'm doing automotive engineering.
And you've been learning heaps about cars.
I've been learning quite a lot about cars. Like
That's
I've been
fucking
learning
sick.
a lot about like turbo. Like I learned really specific courses about like turbocharging and the way like
you would have loved it.
it was really interesting.
Yeah, there you
like,
go.
It's a lot of work though, like a lot of theory, which is like it can like it's a lot. Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
And like it was like really specific things like how valves open up, the timing between valves open up, and how they affect the dynamics of like the air and fuel
It
mixture.
makes me feel so stupid to make
Yeah.
YouTube videos about photography when I learn about this kind of stuff.
it really is
about
a lot.
how much engineering goes into just one piece of equipment that goes into an engine, which is also just unbelievably engineered over however many years. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, so this photo's edited with my preset store. I feel like such an
People
idiot.
couldn't- Like some people could never like speak to the camera and edit it and post that. Like they just
I know,
couldn't
yeah,
do
everyone's
But it's
different.
just different,
It's just,
yeah.
it's just
Different part of your
interesting to me.
brain.
Yeah.
It's for sure.
Yeah, it's different. It's different types of work. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
But with all the theory that you've been learning with engineering, you've thought about the dream, right?
Yeah.
Because like you've been like, okay, there's a lot of theory here, but
Yeah.
it is automotive engineering.
Yeah.
But I know about the bigger picture, but tell me, is that
Big
what?
picture. Yeah.
Which is?
Oh yeah, definitely. To build cars. Yeah. I'd love to be able to like tune and build cars and like in the future, buy a few cars from Japan, import them over
and just fucking do
build
them up. Crazy.
Yeah. Like
Is
one
that automotive engineering or is that like is
counts.
that being a mechanic?
okay,
or-
the thing is like I understand like I'll be more or less understanding like the fundamentals of it, but like
Yeah.
the more like practical hands-on is technical, it would be considered like mechanical work. So that's what like a mechanic will go to like a TAFE or like a course, and they'll learn like how to change a spark plug, how to disassemble a certain engine and put it back together or something, and like they'll have to learn like a small amount of theory. But like I'm learning more or less like more of the theory, and technically my course is set up for me to be able to further improve on that theory. So my job is meant to be like once I graduate, I'm meant to further improve the way cars work in the
Yeah.
future. But
Fuck that.
fuck that.
I wanna work
wanna
on
build
90s
cars.
Japanese
Yeah, I want to
engines.
build old school cars and shit. Yep.
Yeah,
Buy an
sick.
RX-7, strip it down completely, and rebuild it from the ground up.
Oh, fuck
That's
yeah.
the dream. But
I'm keen for that.
that is a lot of work as well.
You
Boys,
really
that-
love cars, don't you, Hayden?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
care
all.
less. I do want to get a Tesla eventually.
Which one? Which model?
X.
Really?
For David Dobrik, is that you?
Nah, maybe.
You just want to be David Dobrik, copy,
Yeah,
copy,
I just
copy,
wanna
copy.
off him.
Copycat,
That's-
copycat.
Copycat from Ballarat.
One of the Roadster.
Oh, I don't care. Like, honestly, like, it would just be good to get, like, I just enjoy, like, I haven't been in a Tesla before, so I can't say I've enjoyed
Really?
it.
Didn't
but
you
like,
go in the
no,
one that we
No, he
had?
was in
no,
the
because you
logo or
guys,
something.
I wasn't around when you
Oh.
guys did that, but
You were levitating.
yeah, I was levitating. Yeah, but no, I reckon it would be cool as to have like an electric car because. One, they go quick as 0 to 100, but like two, obviously, like you've got the whole thing with the
just plug it
environment
in
and stuff.
at the end of the day.
Yeah,
It's great.
definitely.
I actually like, yeah, I don't know. Like whenever I'm fueling up my car now, like I was actually thinking about it the other day, like just smelling petrol. I'm like, this is bad for my lungs.
I
Like
love it.
imagine,
Yeah, I
I
kinda
know
like the
you
smell
do,
as
but
well.
like
I love it. It's fucked.
knowing that that's bad for your lungs, just smelling the petrol as you're fueling it up.
No, but everything's bad for you now.
But no, think about how many cars are in the world where people are even just fueling up and then driving and then all of this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, for sure. It's
on a large
definitely
scale,
it
it's
is.
like-
It definitely has a lot of negative connotations, but when
Yeah.
you drive a manual car with an intake and an exhaust, it just all that sort of just goes out the window.
yeah.
Well, let me tell you now, like from learning about like, because I learned about emissions and stuff in my course, it is a lot better now. Like a lot better.
Oh, then bloody lead.
People put lead into their petrol to ensure that the combustion will be better and it'll be more smoother for the engine. But it's just so bad
It
for your
killed
health.
people.
It killed people. Yeah, it
Yeah.
killed people. So like now that's why like
Lead
if you
poisoning
see
and shit, yeah.
if you see the like the sign in a petrol station, it says unleaded because there's no lead in the fuel anymore. That's
Yeah.
why it's unleaded fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was called unleaded because it's like the name of it. Like you call a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
a bed.
Yeah.
I didn't know it meant anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Well,
because
the
there's no
more
lead
you
in the
know.
fuel.
I was
Well, you
working
know-
out of bed today, Liam. Hey,
What?
you learned something.
Yeah, exactly.
What time do you
Right on
guys get
time.
out of bed these days?
Usually 1 a.m. Yeah, it's pretty good.
1
Go to
a.m.
bed at 3 p.m. and get up at 2 a.m.
Oh,
You have
Oh,
to
yeah.
get up at
Expect.
1 a.m. for a sunset.
usually on average, I'd say 9 a.m. Like sometimes I wake up at like 7:30. Sometimes I wake up at like 10:30.
Yeah, that's good.
It's in between.
That's very
Yeah.
good.
I'm
the
in
same.
between 7:30 and 9:30. Yeah, as well. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm the same.
Raymond.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah, not good.
Should we finish
I
this?
I go to sleep like probably okay. Usually okay. I try my best to go to sleep around like 1:30 a.m.
Yeah.
But then I'll just end up like I set an alarm for 10 a.m. in the morning. I wake up, fall immediately asleep again, and I wake up at like 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
very
You're
good.
not a morning person, are you?
No, not
You
a
hate
morning
it.
person.
You'd
How
bash
about
them.
hate
You
it?
bash the morning.
But,
good.
but honestly,
What
I
time
would
do you
love
wake
to start
up?
waking up early. It's just annoying. But yeah, anyway, Hayden, you go.
No, I'm the same as you, literally.
You guys would just punch on with the morning. If the morning was a person, you just punch on with them.
I love
But
mornings.
let's drop this podcast.
I do
and
like
punch
mornings
on.
as well.
Let's actually
Okay.
drop this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
well,
it's
I'm
been
done.
on for a little
Fucking
bit.
done.
Yeah,
I'm
are
tired.
we
Guys.
done?
An hour. We've been talking for an hour. Hayden's
Talking
tired. He's
shit.
got a blood nose.
Yeah.
That is all for today's podcast.
Yep.
You can find us on Apple for music,
Podcast.
Apple Podcast,
Stitcher.
Spotify, Stitcher, Bitcher, Lickya, any
Google,
Bitch, yeah,
Alexa.
lick ya.
Google and
most
Alexa.
podcasts.
Spotify.
Basically every single podcast platform.
But
If
you
you're
can't
using
find it.
Spotify, YouTube, just fuck off.
Dude, if
honestly.
you're listening to it, you would already have
You found
it.
it.
So
Exactly.
don't fucking worry. You've here. You
Yeah,
found
that's
it.
actually a good realization. We don't need to tell anyone because
Yeah,
it's
Who
like,
listens to it on Stitcher?
what is a Stitcher?
No, if you're listening to it on Stitcher, send me a DM and I'll send you nothing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, send me a
return.
DM. I would like
Yeah.
to see that. If you're listening
But
to this on
mainly
Stitcher, just send us a DM.
Spotify, YouTube,
Yeah. Yeah. What
Apple
else?
Podcasts.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
tune
thanks
in
all.
whenever
Like, real
we do.
quick,
Yeah.
Send us an email of what was it called? Like advice. So if you want advice about something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
do a question at the end or the start of the next
Do
podcast.
actually, I think there was like a question. Do you want me to pull it up?
yeah, pull
I
it
remember
up.
yeah.
seeing one.
Should we do it now or for the next one? Unless
Now
you
for the
have
next- 'cause, like, it would be
You can
nice
just do
to
it
do
now
it
and then
for.
edit it in.
Yeah.
Like, just cut all of this stuff out,
Let's
I reckon, because
see.
it's just
You've-
like, bleh. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
just-
But,
no, just keep
you know
it
what I
in.
we're
Just
leaving
keep-
it
we're
in,
leaving
mate.
it in.
Unless you want to cut it out.
Nah.
No,
Yeah.
nothing matters, Hayden.
When I get back into YouTube, I'll do this stuff.
So never.
Yeah.
You're
5
never,
years.
you're never going to get back in, are you?
No.
You just quit.
Yeah, I've quit.
Just quit.
gonna get
Everyone
into
just
Pornhub.
unsubscribe. Just
You
leave
should-
it.
can you actually upload a video onto Pornhub? Your next.
Imagine just a normal vlog
oh,
just
bro.
going onto Pornhub. By the
Imagine-
way, I haven't left YouTube. I'm just on pause. Anyway, yeah.
He's having a break. It's fine.
What if
Everyone's
we uploaded the photo battle to Pornhub, and then we directed our audience to Pornhub?
No, it would be
The people
that
are
would be
actually having a
dude,
bet to
Surely
it.
we could do something for April Fools. I can
Not
make
with
a porn account.
Pornhub.
This is
It
an
would just be so
Pornhub.
funny.
Photo
Yeah.
battle
Oh,
porn.
you
This is
got
an
it?
interesting question. This is from sorry if I butcher your name, but this is from Goodshot from Mumbai, India, right? And he has asked, I was wondering if you guys could give opinions on whether we aspiring photographers should use presets. Is using some other creators' presets wrong? Like for example, you two, you
Wrong,
sell
yeah.
presets.
No, it's
Well,
an
actually, all
interesting
of us
topic.
sell presets. Yeah, you sell
all
presets
of
as
us.
well.
So do you.
So do I. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's like a yes. It's like a yes and no. Presets help for sure. They help me with editing because I understand the program and they've helped me understand the program as well. But I have downloaded other creatives people's presets as well and applied them to my images and see how it sort of works. I think it's also a great way to understand the program and to see what someone else has been creating. But I'm only saying that bias because I sell my own presets. Obviously, I'm not going to say don't download presets, but it's like
But we wouldn't sell them if they were a bad thing.
no,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like
It's an incentive to create.
I think it's a great thing because sometimes when you feel like you're stuck in a rut with editing, you're like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to like know how to do any of this when like you watch tutorials, but it's sort of not really working for you. But when you apply a preset and that magic happens immediately, and then you can go and reverse engineer all that
yeah,
data.
yeah.
Sounds like the fattest preset ad. It's
I know, but no,
go
it's the
download
truth.
our
No, it's
preset.
true.
It's
true,
true,
it's
though.
true.
I 100% agree. Yeah.
So, but like
100%.
other people argue you don't because that's someone else's data basically you're putting onto your picture. And then, you know, how can you really call that your picture? But everyone's obviously entitled to their own opinion. And which is
Yeah.
also right. They're both right. Both saying that you are adding someone else's data onto your image, but it's whichever way you want to look at it, if it's a bad thing or a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
I think it's a good thing.
I think
think-
it's just good just to see those presets, apply them to your image, and just understand how they work. And so, like, what aspects of the preset make the preset look a certain way.
Yeah.
That's what I really think.
Why do
it
they
really
work
is.
on certain images and stuff? Like,
Yeah.
what about this makes this edit better
Yeah,
than
it's
if
not,
I were to do
it's
it?
not just about like chucking it on and uploading a photo and saying yes, this is my photo. It's about understanding what the preset does.
Yeah.
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 Right,
Pretty
I
much. I
reckon
agree.
that. Yeah, I reckon that
wraps it up.
this
All right,
podcast.
goodbye.
All right, see you
All right,
everyone.
see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Yo, see ya.
Yo,
Yo, see ya.